Well, hello and welcome to um, Getting Started with Makey Makey and our Makey Makey resources. Claire is here as one of our other panelists if you have any questions or concerns. And we're not having chat open today because it's just, we're going to do this quick. And if you can, if you do have questions, put them in the Q&A section. I'll try to get to them at the end. And right now, I want to go through kind of what Makey Makey is and how you'll get started with it. So I'm having one of those issues. Let's share sound for now. And I just realized that my headphones are going to be a problem when I'm using sound on my other thing, which I think is what happened last time. That's okay. Maybe the GoPro sound will pick it up and then I won't have a problem. That'll be smart. All right, getting started with Makey Makey, the invention kit for the 21st century. I don't know why I said it like that. Just having one of those kind of days. Oh, I've been working on curriculum all day for Makey Makey, so it's fun to kind of get to do this and take a little break from creating stuff on the computer. So this is our STEM pack. It comes with 12 Makey Makeys and a bunch of extra stuff like pencils that work specifically with Makey Makey because they have a higher conductivity because they have more pencil lead, they have more graphite. And these wonderful long alligator clips so you can do really long extended projects. And Makey Makey is just the funnest thing. That's why I work for Makey Makey. I taught in schools for 15 years. When I can, I go to schools now. I still haven't been able to go this year, but I'm hoping, next year I'll be able to start going back and doing some volunteer work in schools and trying my Makey Makey ideas there. So this last year, I have created all of these lessons to help you get started with using your Makey Makey and how you can use it with all your other curriculum ideas. One way to get Makey Makey going in your classroom is to think about teaching your students invention literacy. And invention literacy is a term coined by Jay Silver that's really the idea of being able to read and write the stuff around you. Like, if you can read a paper and then you copy what it says, that's how you kind of learn to become literate, how you learn to write. Well, how do you become an inventor? Well, you look at how things are made around you, you determine how they're invented, you're curious about it, and then you try to make your own things. And that's really what we here at Makey Makey find to be the most important thing we want to teach kids is how to put on the hat of an inventor and read and write the world in their own way so they can reinvent the world. And so they can actually become invention literate by using Makey Makey and using other maker tools, researching, tinkering, and creating all of their own inventions. If you want to read more about invention literacy, I'll share this link here in a second. And if you've never used a Makey Makey and you're wondering what the heck this thing is, it's something that allows you to take anything, anything that's conductive, a banana, a pie tin, anything that has a little bit of conductivity in it, and you can now use that thing to control your computer. So I like to think of it actually works as a computer key. I like to think of it, that's what I was looking for, kind of like a light switch. Because the way Makey Makey works is by having those two connections. So we'll talk more about that in a second. But we do have 16 free classes for teachers online. I am in the process of creating our facilitators STEM pack, so really the educator's guide to curriculum with Getting Started with Makey Makey. That will be in our next STEM pack, and you'll want to be able to have that. And we do these free online webinars for teachers. We're doing an emphasis Pathfinders workshop that's 5 days long this summer. You should really participate in that. And then we also have a workshop coming up in September that you can take. And we really think Makey Makey's for elementary teachers, secondary teachers, you're a STEAM coordinator, you're a homeschooler, and one of our really great favorite new audiences is occupational therapy and special education specialists. And we have a couple of webinars coming up for occupational therapy that you might enjoy as well. You should look on our blog, makeymakey.com/blog, and you'll see more about that. So it works like a keyboard. We're going to plug it in. We're going to try it ourselves. And when you have something like bananas plugged in, now the bananas are your keyboard. And Makey Makey just tricks your computer into thinking you're using your keyboard. And it has to complete a circuit to work. So I like to think of the light switch, and I'm going to show it when we do a project here in a second. But a light switch works by turning it on, turning it off, right? And so when you have both circuits complete, that's what turns the light on. When the circuits are disconnected, it's off. So it's one way to remember that you need an off and on, and we'll do that right here in just a second. So I designed all these courses, and you can go to the first one and create a circuit, and then you're going to want to do hands-on with Makey Makey. We're just going to start going through them and actually doing them and finding out how things are conducted. We're going to build this conductivity tester, but we're going to use cardboard instead of actually using the lab coat. But this is one of my favorite videos. So let me show it real quick, because this actually uses my light switch and explains kind of that idea of how a Makey Makey works. Oh, let me turn the audio on.
It's time to test this as a conductive jacket. What you do is put anything you think is conductive across the two tape traces. If it's conductive, well, look at that, broccoli's conductive. It'll light off the LED. I have one connected to space and one connected to earth. So if I try this sponge, not conductive, but if I add a little water to it, it is conductive. So let's just start teaching me a little bit about what might be adding conductivity. Is it the moisture? Is it metal? If I throw a change on it, I'll see it started to go off and then it didn't. Because we got to make sure our connections get all the way bridged across. So right here, they're not quite making it, but they're almost making it. I throw my change on there and it works. So Makey Makey works kind of like a light switch. Whenever you cross the two paths, you're getting the circuit to be complete. So I've turned on the light and it works. So that's how Makey Makey works. It tests for conductivity to see if an item is conductive or not. Then it will complete a circuit, just like a light switch.
Oh, I think that's a pretty good way to say it. And I kind of forgot about that. It tests to see if an item is conductive or not. That's kind of what it's doing. That's what it's feeling to see. So I designed, along with these courses, these embeddable Google slides, and we'll put a link in there for you too. These embeddable Google slides. You can go to bit.ly, let's see, bit.ly/Makey at Home Projects, I think is the short link. But actually, I should be able to share it here in a second. But if you go to this, and this is the first way you're learning about Makey Makey with your students, they can watch a video about invention literacy, they can play a human piano, and then go to this first time setup video, and even test out a virtual Makey Makey if they'd like. So let's play a human piano. So you can click on the picture to go to the Makey Makey piano, or you can go to makeymakey.com/piano. And what we're going to do is actually plug in our own Makey Makey, to the, I'm going to stop the share, to our Makey Makey. So we'll change the camera. I think I'm going to change the audio. Nope, I'm going to keep it at this audio. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. I'll have to turn this way up. So here we are. We have a Makey Makey. We have a light switch, and we have some apples that I just cut, and we're going to take our alligator clips, and we're going to plug one. I've already got it on the, I actually have it on the apps page. So if you go to the apps page, you can click on piano. Should be able to hear that. And I'm going to plug in this apple right here. And I'm going to get myself an earth strip. So this is how we're completing that circuit. In fact, before we do the apple, let's do the light switch. So I'm going to plug one to earth and one to the key press, and then it turns the sound on and off. I hope you can hear it. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear it, or something in chat so I could see real quick? All right. Actually So now I'm gonna play my apple slices, and I'm gonna put another one on right, and make sure I'm holding earth because I always have to have a complete circuit. So this is my positive input. This is another one. You can see the light lights up when I play the keys. I could also tap them here or press them on the keyboard. Ooh, that's weird. My apple's working. It must be my cutting board has enough water on it that it was still getting that apple. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool science experiment right there. Well, let's see if we're going to get more than one sound if we add another apple to our piano. All right. Now put that one up close to this one. Oh yeah. Oh good, you can hear it. So I can play the apple with the apple. And that's because I'm holding earth with this hand. And if I really wanted to, I could eat an apple and play it. If I really wanted to, or I could use my nose. If I wanted to, for my chin. Ooh, that's kind of goopy. And because also I really like it, I'm going to show you this other piano I designed with my vinyl cutter, my Cricut die cutter machine. Move all these apples out of the way. Bloop. Not looking so pretty. All right, so I just like a cooking show, I have it somewhat already signed up, connected here. So I'm going to plug earth, and this is kind of going over the top, so I apologize because you're supposed to be getting started, and I went over the top first thing because I can't help it because it's fun for me. But this is still playing the piano. You're going to like it. Still with the piano app. And I think this is something fun to do with kids too. Once they have done the piano app, and then once they've done the what is conductive unit, which we're going to do here in a second, then have them figure out what are some really cool ways they could play the piano, because there's got to be some other ways to play the piano. Okay, so now earth is here, and uh-oh, it's already not working. No. Oh, I did that on purpose. See, I didn't have earth plugged in. All right, so now earth is plugged in. Oh, I didn't plug in a clip. Oh, sorry, I almost did Mary Had a Little Lamb. All right, so now I've made some interactive sheet music. This is really overcomplicated. It's all circuit level on the back here, but now I can play. All right, so that is playing the piano, which is one of my favorite things to do, especially coming up with fun ways to play the piano. And now let's test for if something is conductive. So if I'm on the Makey Makey site and I go to resources and how-to guides, this is kind of where I'm starting, is right here at the very beginning. So the first thing we did, actually, I messed up already because the first thing you're supposed to do is put your hands on the Makey Makey. So I will unplug every clip and start that over. So we have to test it, see if it works. So right now I'm going to actually control my computer screen. Oh, it's not actually even moving. We're okay. All right, so I'm going to go to resources, and hands on a Makey Makey is to test the piano app. So, and then you plug in the alligator clips and try pianos and humans and things like that. And then we're going to go to what is conductive. And so in this lesson, it's that kind of that same as that video we saw, and we're going to create a testing station. So we have a little video to show us how to create a testing station that we can watch if we want to. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the pieces ready so I can kind of follow along. Oh, this isn't even the video I wanted to watch. I actually want to watch this video. There we go. Turn the sound off. All right, so you need cardboard, scissors, and then I use this foil. In fact, let me show you the whole box. I get these foil sheets, kind of like what the cafeteria uses. This huge box of foil sheets. I love these. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut my foil sheets in half, and I'm going to make 2 strips. And I need a glue stick so that I can attach my cardboard, my foil to my cardboard. Doop, doop, doop. Okay, just wrap it underneath. Now, ooh, fast me is so much faster than me. Okay, this I did with students virtually. And what I learned is you really have to work on this, making sure that the foil has a space. Because remember, we need to be able to put this light switch on and turn it off and on. And if they're touching all the time, then we're going to always be completing the circuit and it's not going to work. All right, so I'm going to test it with the Is It Conductive game. So we're going to click on the game in the project. You could actually stay right there on the side if you wanted to. This game is coded with the space key. So if I hold her and I press space, it says the item is conductive. All right, so now I'm going to click space. Now I'll get her click to space. And I'm going to do one to earth. Now I always do gray for ground. I don't know, does anyone else do that? Do you do gray for ground? I just like to do it. I did have a teacher once tell me they do green for ground, but I feel like, oh, look, I messed up. What happened? The same thing that could happen with kids. These are touching each other somewhere. All right, so let's unplug. Let's figure it out. Okay. Okay. Oh, I think it's my cardboard. I think they're too close together. Somewhere they're touching. All right. I won't let you beat me, cardboard. I'm going to try again with another piece of cardboard, but I'm going to try a different type. Oh, I have a better type underneath here. Hang on. Let's get this one. Maybe let's try this first. Because, you know, someone told me this happened to them. So Makey Makey's testing for conductivity. It found something conductive, and it might have been that my glue stick was just all the way across. So I was kind of sloppy. Seems like we're okay. It's not going to happen again. All right. Now, let's get a piece of foil. This is too big. There you go. Always have extra cardboard. That's the lesson. Okay. Extra cardboard, extra foil. And the fun thing about cutting it is you could do shapes if you want, but I'm going to keep my temptation low. I'm not going to cut a fun shape, even though I really want to. When I do this with students, I also have them have a plastic ruler handy, and that's so they can make sure their hand isn't accidentally setting off the Makey Makey, accidentally completing the circuit. So, you know, I have so much more confidence when I can't see my face on the screen. I just want you to know, it's just so much easier this way. Right, but if their hand touches both circuit traces, that's one way we can start using kind of our electricity lingo there, electrical engineering lingo, is if our hands touch both, we're setting it off, right? And we don't want that to happen. All right, so we're going to set one to earth. See if I have an electric personality. Okay, so far so good. Am I conductive? I am conductive. Is this apple slice conductive? I'm going to be surprised if a lot of times the waxy peel doesn't work. So I'm going to set it this way. And that does. And that's just because of the wax that's put on the apple slice. Sometimes it doesn't work. But the apple itself is conductive. What about this bubble wrap here? Is this conductive? No, it's not. And see, this could be one of those things where I use my hand to do it. So you could have a ruler nearby. And of course, I don't have the best kind of ruler right now, but I do have this. I'm pressing. Okay, nothing. Just make sure my ruler is also not conductive. Good. It is not. Oh, let's try that light switch again because I think that's fun. Let's see. Both of my connections are touching. Turn it off. You can actually see the Makey Makey light come on and off. So this is one of my favorite things. I had a student try her cat, and she had one cat that had a very furry paw. And she said that cat was not conductive, but really it's just the fur got in the way. It was the pads of the cat's paw that were able to conduct electricity. All right, so if we've done the Makey piano, we've done the, is it conductive? What are we gonna do next? Let's look. So we did these two. We've explored conductivity. We're thinking about how things are kind of alike. What do the insulators have in common? Really, you can take this lesson and make a very good science lesson. I have students take this T-chart and list the things that are conductive, list the things that are insulators, and then talk about them, and then talk about what they can do with them. So we get this little guy out while we start thinking about that and how we can make switches and things that go with it. After we do the piano and the what is conductive, I think it's really good to do a drawing with Makey Makey. So the stim pack comes with these pencils that are pretty awesome. And I think I can make it. This is where you can also get to all these great apps, and you can watch these videos and learn how to draw your own musical circuits. But what we're going to do is actually go to, you can go back to the piano, or you can try a new app. In fact, let's try, we have a new app that's out. We could try to draw that. That'll be fun to draw with our drawing. So it's called a sampler app. It's still in beta, but it's really fun. We're gonna skip the tutorial because I'm here, and we're gonna make a nice drawing with our pencil lead. And I have, actually, I wanna do two things, but I ran out of paper. Okay, I got another piece of paper. We'll use this, and I'll stop sharing. And when we actually want to do something really fun real quick. So one thing I also like to do is show students with one last time, which we forgot to do on our testing board, but is that pencil lead is conductive. And I guess I could use another drawing that I have to show it instead of drawing you one. So I'm going to take this drawing, which is something I was doing where I had students create word sounds. So onomatopoeia. Woo, my hands touched it. And then record those sounds in Scratch. So that's another fun activity. But just because we're trying to start small, we're just testing, does this pencil drawing work? Yes, it does. Oh, and just so we know it's not me, I can put this down and I can press with my ruler and I can see that it's setting it off. Now I can turn it around so we can make sure it's not my paper, right? It's not the paper, it's the drawing. So I think that's really cool. So let's draw something for our sampler app. So I'm going to go back to, oh, it's going to be hard to do. Wait, I'm going to do it all without having to touch the thing. So I'm going to go to our apps, and I'm going to go to sampler, and I'm ready to play. I'm going to put it on old school. Can you hear it? Okay, try with my hands. All right, so check it out works. Let's go ahead and draw that. In fact, this is what's really fun. So now we can start thinking about things visually. Check. I'm going to make a check mark. I'm going to draw it with my pencil. And I'm going to connect. I got to get this pencil lead really thick on here. Probably should have sharpened my pencil before class started. And got space. I'm connecting it. I'm going to hold Earth. I touch this. Can you hear it? All right, and then I can also do my little trick from before. I could just draw a little spot here. We'll see if I'm good at this. And connect this guy. So that's fun. So I could draw something really beautiful here if I wanted to. I can't really think of anything beautiful. I usually just draw like swirly things, because they look pretty to me. Or this might take me a long time, but the fun part is that I could even, if I wanted to play off that light switch idea, this is where I might start getting kids to think a little bit deeper, is can I draw my two drawings really close together so my hand completes the circuit? Okay. Now I did this during Emphasis Pathfinders, the last one we did. And the coolest thing was one of the teachers sent a video of her son, because he basically took the class alongside her, and he showed us the coolest troubleshooting technique. So I'm not going to have my mistake yet, but I'm also going to need an eraser if I do it. Oh, I see one. Okay, so we're good. All right, so now, so I'm pressing Earth and space because they're so close together. And the other thing about pencil is it comes off on your finger and eventually it'll kind of smudge and you'll have to reapply. Now, what if I reapply and I accidentally have them connected? They're actually still connected. Makey Makey's lighting up. This app doesn't loop yet, but it will loop soon. So right now, to get that light off, because it's basically not going to play again until I get this erased. There we go. Now it's good. Uh-oh, I erased too much. And that's how you just draw your own musical circuits. A really fun thing about this app is right now you can load different samples on it. So now I have a different sound. Let me try this one. This is my sound. Right, and pretty soon we're going to have an ability to record your own sounds. So once you have done the piano, right? So we do our apples or banana piano, and then we do our what is conductive, and then we draw musical circuits. Then we have to kind of start getting into, we can either play with the science of materials, start thinking of different ways to make connections, or we can start coding in Scratch. So if we were to start playing with the science of materials and thinking, well, what are two other ways I could make this circuit happen? And I think I want to go to drum breaks this time. I'm going to, I've made this slap switch. This was inspired by John Lynch. He has a Twitter handle called Mitten Brothers. And I think his website is that too. And we have a post about him on our webpage. Anytime I talk about someone, I've probably posted something on our makeymakey.com/blog. So if you go to our blog and you click the search, you can usually find it. But this slap switch was inspired by him. And so this is just like if I were playing a video game, kind of like thinking about whack-a-mole. Yeah. But now if I'm playing music, right? So it's just another way to, what's other ways I can complete a circuit? So what else do I have around here that I could play with? So this is a switch I could make. And maybe I could take 2 binder clips or 2 paper clips. I'll do binder clips because I got those pretty readily available hanging out. All right, so I've got binder clips, and paper isn't really going to work. So I'm going to cut some of this little cardboard I had a second ago. Or I did that off screen, cutting some cardboard. And this is similar to that other, the testing strip that we did. However, we're actually starting to make switches similar to an actual switch that exists in the world. So if I turn a light switch on, it stays on. It's a maintained switch, or kind of like a knife switch, like Frankenstein. Watch out. So if I flip this over and this one over, and it makes a connection and they stay connected. Now, if I want to do that where it's a momentary switch and only happens for a moment, I can try to finagle this so that it's only going to touch momentarily. In fact, it's already kind of working like that because my cardboard isn't very stiff. I think I'm going to try it on a thicker piece of cardboard. Kind of being crazy here, but I don't know. Not going to do that. I need a better piece of cardboard. Oh, I know. I actually have this 3 ducks kit. This is a pretty fun little product for building things. And they have a lot of fun cardboard pieces in here that I thought would be fun for making switches. So I'm going to get out some circles and triangle there. I'm using a binder clip on that because this is a good piece of cardboard. Oh, got it backwards here. One thing too, I think, is if the alligator clips are making a really good connection. All right, so now I'm gonna get my ear close. Hopefully you can hear it. This still actually, these binder clips are not staying maintained like they should, but that's okay. So that's fun. And we could also make it like a little pressure switch if we took some of this. Actually, because of the way it's working, okay, I'm kind of inventing on the fly here. Since they're not totally connected, we could make it a switch where we kind of protect that, but it's not a very good switch because it's still going off and off and off and off. So we're going to do it the right way. We could take our foil pieces and attach one piece, my glue stick, right there on top. And I'm going to use that. This is a very small piece of cardboard. That's okay. I'm going to leave this out so I can have like a little tag for my alligator clip. Sorry, so that you could see. And I'm going to do that again on the other one. All right. Now, if I were to stick these together right now, this is another thing I've actually done with kids, and then I teach them to use Scratch to program like a 1-button game or something to do there. Oh, I don't need the binder clip. What are you doing, Colleen? Okay, now I've got my 2 pieces. And then if I put them on top, all right, I could put this triangle here, kind of have like a hinge switch. It's kind of like a little sandwich, little Makey Makey sandwich. Let's get a new sound. Or I could use something else. So cardboard's obviously an insulator. I could use a piece of this bubble wrap. Sorry, bubble wrap. You were already cut like a beautiful insulator, but I'm going to destroy you. All right, so we got this piece. If I put it here and I put this here, it's not going to work anymore because I fully insulated my circuit. So I'm going to just cut a little hole in the center and hope that it's not too big of a hole. Now I've got some bubble wrap and some foil to insulate my switch. I better make sure this stays on. Okay. Now, oh, it works. I have to have pretty good strength. So what I learned from the occupational therapist is that this is actually a really good activity for kids or clients or students or however you want to call the person on the other end that need to work on their hand grip strength. So I could actually adjust how much they have to push in by having more bubble wrap or less bubble wrap. So that's kind of a neat thing. Or I could make this really big and make it something they have to jump on. That can make it really fun too. So we've done the piano. We've done, is it conductive? How can we use this with Scratch? If we make our own Scratch games. So let's go. I'm gonna have to pull this guy to the computer the right way. Right? Get this mess out of here. It was so messy. All right. So if you go to our resource page, we have a ton of resources. And once you've done that, if you want to learn how to start coding your key presses, you can go to this Code Your Key Press from Scratch project and follow along with me in this video where I teach you how to code movement and sound. But we can also just do something really quick here together. I was thinking about, really wanted to also show you, we have other things. So after you do the beginner course and the intermediate course, we even have just fun projects. Now I was thinking about this guitar game that we used to have, a Guitar Hero game, and we kind of need a new one, but I did make this creating a guitar project where I've uploaded this sound. Actually, if I go to makeymakey.com/hero, it should go now to my Scratch project where I made, oh no, it doesn't go. Oh, it's because it has blogs. It's okay. Everyone, it's okay. It should just be makeymakey.com/hero. All right, so that takes you to the Scratch game where I've coded guitar sounds. If you go inside and look at it, click see inside on any project, you can see that when you press A, it's gonna press the A sound, and I gotta steal, this comes in the back, for the back of the board, you're gonna need some jumper wires. In our regular kit, they're white, but in the stim pack, we have these great ribbon rainbow cables. So if I put this here, and that's the white one. Now when I touch earth, and this right here, right, it's only been is coded the letter A. And what's pretty cool to teach kids is that what if I want to play this piano? Let me see if I can make this bigger for you all. Not piano, guitar. If I want to play this guitar, no, not that way. And I want to change the key. This is the part I want to show. See if y'all can see that a little better. So in here, when I'm doing, what I've done is I have a stop a sound when I hit a letter and a start this power chord sound. So first I'm still doing things that are already in Scratch. So I'm gonna do the letter, the up arrow. Oh, let's do space. We'll do the up arrow. We'll change it to up arrow. So now, when I press, let me make it a little cleaner here for your viewing pleasure. When I put these two together, right, I'm hitting the guitar and it stops other sounds every time it starts and stops. So it'll stop a sound. So now if I want to go to my own game, let's just create something really quick to play this word thud. In Scratch, I can click new. And I'm going to, you can actually use the Makey Makey extension if you'd like. And that'll just give you and your students the key presses that belong already to Makey Makey. So you just know that they're not going to do anything that's not on the Makey Makey. So you might actually want to do that. And then I'm going to click on this tab up here that says sounds. And it's got a meow because it always has a meow. But I want to record a sound. So I'm going to record. Down here, I have the choice to find a sound, record a sound, get a surprise sound. Let's do surprise sound for fun. What do we get? Oh, okay. I'm going to throw that away. I'm also going to throw that away. And I'm going to click the microphone. I'm going to allow this to record me. And I'm just going to click this and say, hello. Oh, I don't want to say hello. I can listen to it. Oh, I don't want to say hello. That was dumb. All right. So now we're going to change it. We're going to say, good. Good. All right, and I can drag these little bars. Good. And now I can code when the space key pressed. I want to start the sound thud. And I also want to grab that stop all sounds just so if I want to record another sound. So let's say I want to make a second sound What's my second sound going to play? What's another good onomatopoeia? I like boing. I wonder if boing is in the library. Let's search it real quick. I bet there's a good sound here. Boing might be in there. Can search it. Oh, look at that. Okay, this one actually says the word boing, so I'm going to do that one. Okay, and then I'm going to get the when. Oh yeah, because I have an extension down here. So I'm using the Makey Makey extension. A lot of times you're probably using this event. It's this yellowish color. But I'm going to grab when, and I'm going to change it to up arrow. And this other one is if you want to put something in a certain sequence. So when the up arrow is pressed, I want to stop my other sounds and start the boing sound. And this way you could actually have your whole class record lots of sounds and have a whole classroom of recordings happening. So they could all do onomatopoeia, and then you could have a wonderful large display wall with all their hand-drawn sounds, and then they can record the sounds in Scratch. Let me get another, we'll just use this piece of paper again, and we'll write boing. Now, one other fun way to really make this even more integrated into the English language arts would be to have it as a, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, you could draw things. So you could write the word, we can practice writing the word, or we could draw something that makes that sound as well. So that's something fun to do. So I'm gonna do boing, and I need all my letters to kind of touch or it's not going to work. So I can do it like that, where they separate, or here, I'm writing boing, and I'm gonna have it go off to the side here. And what key did I say this was gonna be? Up arrow. And then I'm gonna take an alligator clip. Do I have this backwards? I do. This one should be thud, and this one should be boing. And I may not have this far enough. Let's see. So you'll notice if I hold it down, because I use start sound, that's why it's making that sound. So if I don't want to do start sound, I might want to do play sound. Oh, interesting. Oh, haha, somehow I changed the sound here. All right. All right. And then after we've had some fun doing that, we might start going into researching a topic, coming up with something even more exciting. I know I'm making a huge mess over here. And then we might make an interactive poster, right? And so then we've got it coded to, in fact, I can pull this up, but this will code to actually read a whole poem. So read a poem by Amanda Gorman and read a poem by Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes. And it has a little spot to hold the earth. And then we can try each different poem. You can teach students different conductive items to use here. And then if you want to play with that idea about drawing images, maybe you want to make a poem generator. This is one of the last projects in the beginner course where you code random to have four different sounds that could play for the tree, 4 different sounds that could play for my bug, 4 different sounds for the sun, and 4 different sounds for the courageous human here. And then every time you touch, you generate a different poem. That's a really fun activity for Poetry Month. If you want to get into something like math, you could try our pixel art finger paint project, and you actually touch these points. You can see there's a star here. So in Scratch, I code these coordinates, and then I'm able to touch them and play all of those. Now I'm looking at the time. I've gone way over time. So let me take you back and show you some of the other images, some of the other things on our site that you can go to. And I hope you're having a lot of fun learning all these great things to do with Makey Makey. I create the majority of our resources, and now I also do have other people creating some resources for us sometimes, so that's really fun. I guess I closed my whole Chrome. There you go. I hope you can see it. I know it says that you can see it, but I never trust it. So just to remind you where I'm getting all of this stuff, it's all free, it's all online. You and your students all have access to it. You click resources and you click how-to guides. And here in the first section, you can actually change this by chapters. So you could, if you're beyond the beginner, you can scroll down, you can use the drop down and go to the maker class, which is the next class, or you could try a different thing. Maybe you just want to go to mashups. You're here because you want to do strawbies and Makey Makey, or you want to do microbit and Makey Makey. This is where I've been putting our mashup projects. Or maybe you want accessibility guides. My computer's being a little slow because I'm showing you guys. There it goes. So accessibility guides. Then you want to, here's how to do the musical paintbrushes we learned last week with Katie Butsu and Mark Lyons. Here's how to make a Big Mac cardboard switch. So we kind of made one just a second ago. Here's the amazing Braille calculator by Tracy Zhang. Highly recommend you look at that. And actually, this one is one you can adapt to what we just did, where I did the words in pencil. And then in Scratch, I actually coded the sign language. So you can actually upload your own pictures to Scratch. Kids could draw things and upload them to Scratch. You can do all kinds of amazing things. So take your kids to all these courses, go through the first 8. And once you've done that, the only ones we didn't do live right now, Craft and Code Interactive Stories is kind of the poster project. You can also use it with Make Code Arcade. You can learn how to do that in this class. Then there's the poem generator. Then the next class is where we start playing with the science of materials and looking at crafting and designing switches and making tilt sensors. And here's that pixel art finger paint project. There's actually another really cool math project where you can do fractions. And I think math is down here at the bottom, but here's the link to the apps again. Making your own game controller. We've seen lots of people have a lot of success with kids designing game controllers. There's that poster project. You can go hear me reading poetry if you'd like. Make a giant floor piano. Here's Fraser Merrick's amazing guide for using Ableton and Makey Makey. This is outside my wheelhouse, but middle school and high school teachers might want to use GarageBand and learn to use Ableton with their kids. This is something you can actually do with Makey Makey. And was thinking, there it is. There's that fraction generator. This is so cool. You pour water in. In fact, I think you kind of need to see the GIF of it. When you pour the water in, here it goes. In Scratch, I use that same trick that I did with the sign language. It shows it load up in Scratch and actually tests. Oh, I have half a cup. Oh, I have a fourth a cup. That's a super fun project. You could also do it with number lines. Lots of great ways to use curriculum with Makey Makey. Kind of just like you have to think about it and you can do it. If you can dream it, you can do it. If you go through the second class, the last one is an invention challenge. This is kind of a riff on some of our workshop together. Tom always has people design something to help someone. So this is just a little more specific. I had 5th grade students design math or literacy games for kindergartners. They had to follow the design thinking process and brainstorm and ideate. This is a really fun way to get kids involved with thinking about others. So I really enjoyed that project. So if there's any Q&A, it doesn't look like there is, but if there are, now's a good time for it because I've already kind of gone over. I was only going to do a 30-minute video and I went overboard. If you want to remap Makey Makey, you can click on this remap guide. And actually, that's kind of the fun thing about Make Code Arcade is that it's got a really good reason to remap. So, and I designed a nice worksheet to go with this for when you're doing a remap. So if you go down here, it's also on that remap page. Oh, well, we'll go back to it. We'll go back to the remap page because I put it there too. Sometimes, I guess I didn't put it on the Make Code page. So if you go to remap page, got this worksheet you can print out for your kids. Let me type that bit.ly for you so I can put it in there so you can get access to those. There it is. There's bit.ly home at home projects. This is where those Google slides are. You can download this PDF to give to your principal, and you can use these slides. You can edit them a little bit, not too much, and you just got to get started. Remember, if you want to find something that you think we've done or you've heard me talk about, you can click this search tool right here, and I should be able to look up at-home resources, and this pop up first thing. Oh, it did work. Woo! And then if I want to find those occupational therapy things I was talking about, I can type occupational therapy, and here are those free workshops that you should register for. We just did the Big Mac one. Our next one's May 20th. We'll be making hula hoop controllers with Katie and Mark, and that will be super fun. If you want to sign up for our Infosys workshop, you can, there was a banner up there, but I guess I've been on long enough it took it off. You should be able to type Infosys and find it, but you can also go to the blog. So there it is right there. Pathfinder Summer Institute, and apply for our workshop right here. You do have to be a U.S. public school teacher for this workshop, or you can sign up for our September workshop, which is anyone and everyone can join. All right, so I'm going to stop my share. Is there any questions? It doesn't seem like there's any questions. Thanks everybody for coming. I really appreciate y'all. And it is time to say goodbye. So thanks a lot. Oh, I was scared I didn't record it. I was going to cry. Thanks everybody. Bye.